And we're live. And hello everybody to the first run of the Horizon block for the last day of this awesome crossover event. You just saw the trailer for the reason why we are doing this. Lego Horizon Adventure will come out soon. But before that, we will have some good old Horizon Zero Dawn New Game Plus Ultra Hard, shown by Eric. Welcome.
Hello. Hope you all are doing well tonight. Hope you guys are having a beautiful Sunday. And indeed, it's time for some Zero Dawn action. Gonna playing through Horizon Zero Dawn, the original, as I need to say now. I'm still getting used to calling it that, because for those who don't know, because there's probably a lot of people here not familiar with Horizon, they released a remastered version of Horizon Zero Dawn little over a week ago. So perfect timing with the Lego game, I guess. But I'm going to be doing the original for this particular marathon, because I haven't done too many runs at the moment for the remastered. So
the remastered.
Yeah, so I'm just way more comfortable with the original, so we'll be doing that for a specific marathon run to show it off. So yeah, that's the plan. And as Dorian already alluded to, it's gonna be New Game Plus on Ultra Hard. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So I think we're ready to dive in. Are you ready, Dorian?
Yep. Yes.
Cool. And I'll let you know when to start time. So let's get loaded in here. Let's get the show on the road. But hopefully you all enjoying the event so far. Got a couple of Horizon runs here to finish it off. So hopefully we built sufficient hype for the Lego Horizon game. It's going to be exciting to see how it turns out when we get to play it. So are you ready on time?
Yes, let's do this.
Cool. Then let's begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck and have fun.
Thank you so much. Alright, so starting right off the bat here. This is a New Game Plus run, as I already mentioned, and the UH in the category means Ultra Hard, which is the hardest difficulty in the game. We're gonna make it look very easy because it's New Game Plus, so we already have all our tools available that we had in a previous playthrough, and they are quite powerful.
Even on ultra hard machines can absolutely destroy your day.
Indeed.
Shield Weaver does help a lot.
Yeah. Like, you still have to obviously respect the machines and everything. But
yeah, you've seen some of the story runs yesterday where you don't need to respect the machines at all. On ultra hard, you do.
Good idea.
But first thing I can quickly point out here, and that you have already seen, is we're already playing as adult Aloy. There's no childhood section. That's because New Game Plus automatically skips the childhood section of the game, which is good for speedruns, because it's effectively an 8-minute auto-scroller, if you're generous. So yeah, New Game Plus, it automatically skips that, so we don't have to go through that. And we're already in our first fight here with the Sawtooth, which we're going to shoot once to get him to run at us. Dodge that attack, because I missed a few too many shots there. Get back here, you cops. Not sure why he got squeezed over there, but that's how marathons go.
Yep.
We'll talk more about the weapons here as we... we'll talk more about the weapons as we go along. We'll be using all the weapons a lot, so we'll get into that. You'll see a lot of fast rolling here in the beginning. That's because currently in Horizon Zero Dawn you start inside what's known as the Embrace, which is basically the beginning area of the game. And inside this beginning area of the game, both in New Game Plus and 80%, a lot of fast roll points are already unlocked. So the speedruns, we can use that to just zoom around here in the beginning. So that's why you saw a lot of fast roll there in the beginning. Or why you'll see it here in the beginning. So I guess for all the Lego people that are not familiar with the story of Horizon, so we are playing as Aloy, the red-haired girl here. And when she was a child, she was casted out by the tribe because she has no mother. And Aloy's goal in life, at least right now in the game, is to then enter what is known as the Proving here for the Nora tribe, which is the people that cast her out. Because it's very sacred that you have a mother and all in the Nora tribe. Motherhood and all that is like very important to them. And since Aloy didn't have a mother, she was cast out. And she's been raised by another outcast named Russ. We saw him earlier, the guy with the beard. Not gonna see him much in New Game Plus, sadly.
She got it anyway.
But now Aloy is turned 18 and she can partake in the tribe's Proving, which we are heading towards right now. And completing the Proving basically makes it so you are no longer an outcast. And Aloy also wants to win the Proving because the winner of the Proving gets a boon, and she will use that boon to ask them who her mother was and why she was cast out. Because she doesn't actually know. Or Aloy doesn't know it's because she's motherless right now. But she just knows that she doesn't have a mother and she doesn't know why she's cast out. So right now we just went through the entire celebration section here in Mother's Hut, which basically just sets up a lot of story. We'll get to that in a sec. But now we go to bed and into the Proving. So right off the bat here in the Proving, we're going to be fighting some Gracers, because story-wise, the first part of the Proving is to collect some trophies from these Gracer machines that comes running down here. We're just going to line up here in New Game Plus, try to hit the ground so we kill as many as possible. We only need to loot one, but the more you kill, the less likely they are to trample you. And then we'll kill another one here, because there are some cutscenes we skipped where a trophy got destroyed. So that's why we have to get two. And then there's a little path here we have to do to get to the end of the Proving. And doing this path, there's a couple of skips you will see here. So first off, climbing is very slow in this game, so we'll try to do our best to skip climbing if we can by using the environment here. Just like that, to jump around those two climbing spots.
She was behind me.
Leon would be proud of you.
Yep. And then we'll see a bigger skip here, usually referred to as the Proving skip, but technically tree skip, because you jump on this tree to squeeze through there. There's actually invisible walls we jump through there. And
invisible death planes.
Yeah, invisible death planes. So there's basically like a hole you can just barely jump through there to get out of bounds, like we just did there. Then we restart from save, run off the edge here, land down here, which technically is out of bounds again, or not the intended path, let's put it that way.
I've trained my whole life for this.
And then instead
of going inbounds again.
Yeah, and then going straight forward there to where the fight normally started, it turns out the trigger to start the fight is much bigger than it appears, so we can just jump on this mountain and then puts us into the Proving, then fight here in the Proving, where we have these soldiers to kill because they're ambushing the Proving. Then we're going to use these landmines in specific spots, just about there. For the second wave, to kill those three guys off the bat. Oh. Missing this guy a little bit. Got that guy, then they're going to spawn up here, there. Headshot there.
This allows me to quickly point out one thing about the ultra hard difficulty, is that there is no auto-aiming on ultra hard. On the lower difficulties you have some auto aim, so even if your aim is not directly on the target, the auto aim is pretty generous most of the time. But on ultra hard, that is disabled completely, so you actually need to have some skill.
Yep. And I'm playing on the console version, by the way, on PlayStation 5. So we are playing with controller as well, in case you're wondering. So the aim assist thing does actually matter quite a bit.
I'm picking up some kind of signal.
But yeah, not the best aim there, but we got through the Proving. It's fine.
Yep, Ruby's got these Stormtrooper emotes in chat.
Great. But yeah, basically story-wise, what happened there, we got through the Proving. We actually won the Proving, but as you saw, there was a bit of fight there at the end, because the Proving got ambushed by what is known as the Eclipse, which is cult tribe that is...
Why did you bring me?
well, we get into more of them later in the story, but basically they ambushed the Proving, and because Aloy, she has a focus, which is basically an old communications device.
Going to meet her?
And another person that attended the celebration that we went through quickly before the Proving saw Aloy through their focus, and that alerted the Eclipse, so they sent a
You said the tribe was on the
ambush
brink of
to the
extinction.
Proving to try to kill Aloy, but as you can see they failed. Aloy survived, and we're now getting some exposition about her birth, where it turns out she had no mother. But now Aloy needs to understand why she has no mother, and she believes the Eclipse can give her some answers. So that's what we're gonna be now heading out into the wider world to figure out.
Yep. Find that guy we saw and figure out what he knows.
Yeah, because he's the guy that basically alerted them. Aloy figured that out after the ambush, but we skipped the cutscene, so we didn't see it.
This was my plan.
Yeah.
To show you
Who even needs cutscenes?
Who needs cutscenes? Yeah, we can just recap the story like this.
Mother intended for you.
Yeah, luckily you can skip almost all cutscenes in the game.
No.
Yep.
Yeah. If any.
Not all. There's
Nora faithful.
like one that we
Handful of
really need to
skippable
watch.
ones, but not that many.
Purify your heart.
Yeah.
Soon we will make forgiveness.
Right here, we're gonna do a little slide down the mountain. A lot of our skips in Zero Dawn here. Basically just, as you saw in the Proving, you saw a lot of skips back to back. The Proving, when you go the intended way, is basically like one big zigzag, because it's like very S-shaped, the intended path, and the skips basically just makes it more of a straight line.
Ignore her.
And you'll a lot of skips we do in the run basically takes,
Or do
you know, a zigzaggy path and makes it more of a straight line. So right here we have the Corruptor fight, so we're gonna jump up here on this platform up here, and then we're gonna try to shoot him as soon as the gate breaks. Just like that,
So we
and
have,
we start from
like-
save.
Yeah, we have just a few frames of the Corruptor being
these
vulnerable
things, Marsh?
after the gate breaks.
Ex-
And before he starts moving, we need to hit him.
Yep.
Because before he is invulnerable, and after he's also invulnerable until he jumped in, which includes a very long walk up to the gate, and then jumping in, and nobody has time for that.
Yeah, exactly.
It worked. It's not hostile.
So it basically just makes it so you can kill him much sooner than you're actually intended to, because for some reason, I'm not sure why, like Dorian mentioned,
No.
he just has a brief window where he has a couple of frames where he's vulnerable. So shooting him at the exact right time there allows you to kill him early.
This beats walking.
And now we're outside the Embrace section, which we were locked into for the beginning of the game. Obviously only for 10 minutes, but when you play casually, it's much longer.
Try overriding other kinds
And
of
now we have
actions.
access to
Probably
basically
can't
most
ride
of the
tomorrow,
rest of
but
the
we might
world
find a use for them.
in the game. Or soon we'll have access to the full open world, but we are working on that. So basically Aloy has been told now that, you know, in order to find Olin, she has to go to Meridian, because that's where he is, because he's part of the Carja tribe. The Meridian is their capital. So in order to get to that territory, she has to cross the Carja border, and we are soon gonna learn that the Carja border is closed, so we have to, because there's too many corrupted machines, so we have to clear some corrupted zones here in a bit to,
Maybe I can scan it.
what's it called? To get access to cross the border, because if you clear out enough corrupted machines, then they're like, oh yeah, good enough, we'll allow you to enter our territory. But first thing we're gonna do here is set up another quest. Just gonna do the setup for this quest. We're not actually completing the rest of it right now. It's just this first part of the quest happens to be right on the way here. So I hit a checkpoint there and restart from save. You'll see that a couple of times throughout the run, where it's faster to just hit a checkpoint and then restart from save, because the spawn point is further ahead. And we also are gonna do a bit of a trick here, because we just examined the two machines to figure out what's going on. Then we can get back on our mount here, restart from save again when this guy spawns. And that allows us to get a mount inside this area, which you're normally not allowed to have.
Maybe the war chief left something behind.
And as you will see in a second, mounts inside areas that they are not supposed to be are weird.
Yep. You
Just
can
watch as we leave this area.
Yeah, just clipped out of the invincible walls that normally prevents me from going in. So that sets up the quest known as the War Chief's Trial. So basically the main quest, which is what we're playing through here in the New Game Plus run of Horizon HZD NG. Basically once you're inside the Embrace, the main quest is very linear, but now that we're outside of the Embrace, it's gonna split into 3 different paths. And you have to complete all 3 of those paths of the main quest to unlock the final main quest. And technically some of the other quests require each other to be completed, but the basic version is there's 3 paths and you have to complete all 3 paths to unlock the final quest. And right there you saw me shoot my mount. I'll talk more about that in a sec here. But first we're gonna travel into Mother's Crown here, and then we're gonna do one of the newest skips of the run, which is go up here and start this side quest, or errand, as it's called. By just talking to this guy, it's an errand called Log of the Hunt. We're not actually gonna complete Log of the Hunt, but remember the fact that we have started that quest, because it becomes very important later. And we'll talk to Maria here, who's in charge of Mother's Crown here, the village. And she is the one that tells us, well, machines are corrupted, do something about it if you want to cross the border. And then we're gonna leave the city here, and then you'll notice when I get out on the other side, flip the camera, and then whistle, I get a mount spawning perfectly the way I want the mount to be. So, bombing my mount... so you saw me bombing my mount before I fast travel into the city, and or the village. One sec here. Just quickly gonna do this. The reason for that is, if you don't bomb your mount, the mount will try to spawn from the location you left it. But if you bomb a mount, it becomes aggressive and therefore technically no longer a mount, so you can call a fresh mount. Because here in New Game Plus we have access to call a mount anywhere. But if you already have a mount alive, or that's, you know, your mount, it'll try to spawn in a spot that simulates it coming from that area. But that's not convenient to speedruns. We want them spawning in specific spots. The last one, he's up there. Really bad RNG here. What's that spawn?
Oh. I don't think I have ever seen one.
It happens 1 out of 10 times, so of course it happens in a marathon. But you also saw me do a little bit of weird travel there as we left Mother's Crown, where I just kind of traveled down a path and then left. That was to unlock a campfire for later that we're going to use to fast travel. Campfires in this game unlock when you're within 50 feet of them, or 50 meters. So just getting within 50 meters unlocks that campfire, and it's faster to get it at that point than it is to get it later. To kind of abuse the open world, if you will. And right now we're clearing up some corrupted zone. You saw me use the fire arrows there to just quickly deal with those grazers in the first one. And then coming over this hill here, we're going to have a bit more of a complicated corrupted zone, because we're going to use the Storm Slinger here. And hopefully we'll have a nice clear spawn to take them out. Let's see. This should be good.
Here they come. Corrupted watchers.
Yeah, missing too many shots. Have to play a little safe there when you get knocked off, so you don't get corrupted, because then you can lose the mount. But we got through there. The spawns in those corrupted zones are completely random. A lot of the other fights, the machines will actually be fairly predictable, but the corrupted zones, they can spawn anywhere within in the zone. So getting a good lineup is important.
Yeah, just to clarify, the amount of machines inside is fixed, but just the position is completely random.
The amount of machines and the type of machines are always the same.
These machines are dangerous.
Shot a little bit there. Why is he going away from me?
Because he did not spot you yet. He was probably aggro on your mount.
Yeah, so that was terrible. by every definition of the word, but oh well. All the corrupted machines are cleared, and we have crossed the border. So there's that. And we're gonna do a very specific movement there to make sure the mount spawns in a good spot.
Learn everything he knows.
You'll notice every time I call a mount, I flip the camera. That's because the mount is scripted to always spawn off screen. So making sure the camera is pointed away from the place you want the mount to spawn is the way to, you know, increase your chance of getting a good spawn.
Yeah, I feel like it's more important to point the camera at a place where you don't want it to spawn.
Yeah, you can also say it like that. But yeah, very messy cardio border there, but that's fine.
It's a marathon.
It's a marathon.
Surely nothing will go wrong in a marathon.
Exactly. And also the Stormslinger is just not easy to use, especially when you're thinking about 100 other things doing a commentary. So the thing is with the weapons here, oh, hello. That was close. But we are safe. No need to panic. Nobody panic. Everybody stay calm. So yeah, the weapons on the run. We can talk a little bit about. Obviously I have my bow right now, which is called the Striker Bow, which is just a really fast, agile weapon we use for quite a lot of shots, as you have seen. The trick with the Striker Bow is it gives you a massive damage boost if you pull the bow all the way back before you shoot. So you'll see basically 99% of my shots will be fired with it all the way pulled back. And then the Stormslinger, the shock weapon you have seen me use a couple of times. The reason why it's a little bit tricky on ultra hard is because the more you shoot the Stormslinger, the more damage it does. However, it also has recoil damage, so the more you shoot it, the more damage you take as well. So you want to shoot it at kind of the limit where it does the most damage, but if you do it for too long, you take too much damage. And on ultra hard, the damage you take is is a lot higher. So
shooting too long with the Stormslinger is one of the easiest way to die in ultra hard ones.
Yeah, so managing the Stormslinger is the trick, but luckily we only use it against smaller machines, generally speaking, on ultra hard, so we're not gonna see too much in the run, but yeah, it can be quite tricky. And then you'll see some other weapons later on in the run here, so yeah. Got a little bit of bad RNG in the bridge, or it's not bad RNG, it's just means I'm too slow. Yeah.
Let's see you catch us.
If you have a slow start to the run, those guys are gonna spawn there. So we'll just have to go around them. If you get there, usually at my normal PB pace, they are never on the bridge, because they won't have time to get there. Because what was there was a convoy, and convoys, they're not important to the speedrun, but basically they run on cycles and they'll race on roughly the same cycle, so they'll appear in roughly the same spot if you are as fast as you normally are. So it's spawning on the bridge is usually a sign of you being a bit slow. At least for my speedrun standards. And now we are finally arriving at Meridian here. We had a bit of a long ride to get here. But inside Meridian we're gonna meet up with Aaron, one of the guys we talked to earlier during the celebrations, and he's gonna tell us that Olin is not home. He's in a different spot, but we're gonna figure out where he is, and then we're gonna head there afterwards. And then Aaron also sets up like the third branch of the main quest, which is to figure out what happens to his sister, because it turns out she's been murdered.
Oh,
dun, dun, dun.
I know.
And because the focus device Aloy has, she can use that to like solve cases or find clues and stuff, so that's why Aaron asked her for help to solve who killed her. For context.
Also, figuring out where Olin is works by breaking into his apartment.
Yep. Very stealthily.
Yep.
I mean, we're not gonna see the cutscene, but basically Aaron smashes down the door.
Here we are. Try not to break anything.
And then we smash more inside here.
Yep. Hopefully we'll see a lot of smashing in the Lego game too.
Yes.
Break a lot of bricks. So right here we're just going through a lot of clues here. Through the apartment that just explains what's happening. Yeah. Turns out Olin was working for the Eclipse, but he's working for them against his will. Because they have his family captured, so Yeah.
A map.
Yeah.
The glyphs show
We
places
quickly should
visit.
also touch on the outfit we are using, because we have only alluded to it so far. We have the Shield Weaver armor. Usually you unlock that by picking up items in main quest locations. A bit hidden away, all in main quest locations, and then you can turn them in and receive this armor. This armor has a shield to it. So if you look in the top left, the health bar is actually blue. That means that the Shield Weaver shield is active. And this is very handy as it protects us from being one-shotted by machines. Even though the absolute amount of the shield is nerfed pretty hard on ultra hard.
Yeah, the amount of shield you get gets lower the higher the difficulty.
But it's still, however, or how much damage comes in, it will at least tank one hit.
Yeah.
So that's very handy.
Or no, not always tank one hit. It is just 125 hit points. So.
You sure?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can't be one-shotted by one attack.
That attacks them to one-shot you on Ultron with Shield Weaver. It's unlikely, but they are there. But yeah, essentially we have a shield. It helps a little bit. But yeah, now we're going into excavation site. First we're going to activate another campfire here by going a little out of our way, because it's faster to get it now. And then we're going to turn around and head into this excavation site where we're finally going to find Olin.
Nico's asking in chat if you can get one shot with 800 HP. Yes, 800 HP on ultra hard is nothing.
Yeah.
Because you take more damage. So.
Yep. So right here we're gonna first lob onto these two guys, then kill our friend who's standing right there, freeze this corruptor, shoot it right in the eye for a nice damage boost to one shot, kill the guy that's looking up here, then the other corruptor should be close, where we can dodge that tail wipe, then he's frozen, hit the eye here as well, then there's two more guys just standing on the ledges up here, he's hiding, how rude.
We'll love it if that guy is hiding.
Yep. And this guy is normally killed by Olin, but he decided not to feel like it today, so I guess I'll do it for you, Olin. And there, and boom.
That fight is way harder than it looks.
What do I
We just want to point it out. There is a lot of practice going into making this fight look as easy as it was.
Yep. You probably also notice right there, seeing me opening the map twice before some fast travels. It's actually not a mistake, even though it might look like a mistake. It's because whenever you open the map will slowly show you all the things you have found along the way, and kind of like show them in a dramatic fade-in animation. But closing the map and opening it again skips that, so you can fast travel to those spots immediately. But it might look like a mistake if you don't know. You also saw me restart from save right there after the fast travel. It just puts these machines in a consistent spot. Or more specifically, Oland. Oh, sorry, yeah, Aaron. About Olin, we just
think the machines are here all the time, but just Aaron is not.
But it also makes the machines more consistent because they're fighting Aaron, which make them more likely to be bunched up. And what? Jesus. This is an absolute mess. But there we go. So yeah, now we're helping Aaron figure out what happens to his sister, because we are now here in this investigation spot where she supposedly died. Turns out she didn't actually die, but we're about to figure that out. That somebody faked her death by putting another woman in her armor and then, you know, not to be graphic, but bashing the head in so much you couldn't tell who it was.
or something.
Because turns out
Yes.
she's not dead, she's just captured.
Spoilers.
I mean, we technically figured that out now, but yeah.
No, right now we only know that this was not the spot of the end.
Oh yeah, Aaron has to go and check the body. Yeah, you're right, technically, yes.
And all of this that people got captured and stuff, that's also, we only find it out on top.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying it now because I'm about to commentate on another fight here. Because we are gonna get ambushed while we are up here looking for more clues by the people that probably captured her since they are here and protecting it. But we're quickly gonna snipe the guys on top, and we're gonna use double shots on these two fools on the ground because they're a bit more beefy than the guys on top.
I think it's calling
Point the camera backwards here, that manipulates the Ravagers to spawn in the same spot. Or technically the second Ravager, I can't see anything, so I just have to spam arrows. And make sure that this Ravager is much closer to you when you kill the first one. So there we go. By manipulating the camera, otherwise he would be much further away. Because, like I said, machines like to spawn in places you're not looking, because they really like to hide it. So by looking in the direction of the bad spawn area, it prevents it from spawning there.
Those leather straps. Armor straps.
So that's a way to manipulate the fight.
And a rock with blood on it.
And now we have the most favorite part of the run,
Looks like you
investigations.
Yay!
There. By the tripod.
Because there's nothing you can do to speed them up.
Yep. And now we tell Aaron that Ursa is actually not dead. It was most likely fake, and he goes back to the city to check her body and see if it actually is her. But more on that later, because we're not going to continue that branch of the main quest right now. Because since there are 3 branches, we can basically do things in almost any order. Like I said, I'm not going to get into the details, but effectively we can do things in any order we want. So we're just trying to get main quest to line up as close together as possible. That's also why we set up that war chief quest earlier, even though we hadn't done it. Just set it up for later. So now we're going to be headed to Mager's End, because after we complete the excavation site, we interrogated Olin to figure out what was happening with the Eclipse, who they are, yada yada yada. Turns out they're working for some supposed god called Hades, and they're digging up old war machine from a time long forgotten. Because here's the big thing. This game is actually a post-apocalyptic game set about 1,000 years into the future. Or if you want to be more precise, I believe right now it's 1,000 years and 7,017 years, something like that. If my math is correct. It takes place in the year 3041. Actually, no, that's when Aloy's. Yeah, that's 3041. Yeah. I think my math is correct right now.
Never can remember.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. There are data points inside the game that tell you the exact time or year it is.
Yeah. But effectively, they're digging up old war machines from, 1,000 years ago, from basically our time, or roughly our time, to raise an army for this god. But we don't know why. And we also asked him why they attacked us, and Olin basically said we can figure out more information if we go to what is known as Mager's End. Which sounds really terrifying, but it's actually Salt Lake City, because this also is the US, for those who don't know. So I guess it's still terrifying, because I guess we're going to Utah, of all places. Home of terrible basketball teams. Anyway.
The current year is 3040. Which we are currently playing.
Yes. And there's gonna be more Eclipse here at Mager's End. Because they are, once again, there's war machines in this area, so they want to get in here as well. But we're quickly gonna stop them. And then we are gonna head into Mager's End ourselves, which is this building complex. To hopefully find some more answers as to what is going on, and also more clues about who Aloy's mother is. But more on that here in a sec, because first we're going to do a little bit of a skip to get into the fight early. Which we're going to jump on this rubble here. Then a little jump across here. Careful not to bonk your head. Jump over this beam here and then kill the guy sitting in front of the death machine, of the Deathbringer. And we're gonna kill the Deathbringer here, like so. Then kill that guy. Then before the Watchers get close, take out the guys in the back. I missed one shot, but they're too close now. Go back to the guy we missed. And then guy on the left.
One
these
thing
guys
we
are
also
moving a lot more than I like them to, but there we go. GG.
One thing we also have not touched on yet is the ability you are like constantly using with the bomb to knock multiple arrows. So we can get the full drawn we talked earlier about, the damage boost of the striker bow if it's full drawn. We can get that with one draw for 3 arrows because of one of the abilities in the game, which allows you to knock multiple arrows at the same time.
Right here we're gonna do a lot more skips because now we're basically inside a big tower and we have to get to the top. So speedrun skips are soon to follow. So first skip there basically skips the entire second floor of the building, which is very nice. And then when we climb up here we're gonna have a little elevator skip up here, which basically skips half of an elevator shaft.
Remember, climbing in this game is really slow, so we want to avoid it as much as possible.
Yep. Luckily this is one of those games where they allow you to climb on everything as long as it has a hitbox. And everything has a hitbox, so that's fantastic. It's not like those boring games where there's a small rock, but you can't go on top of it because developers said no. And we're about to demonstrate that fully right here, because now it's a lot more complicated. Skip on the outside of the building, because it's faster than going inside of it. Is to just climb up the outside. First we're gonna jump up here, jump back here, then a little turnaround jump. Go through some of the rubble here, then some precise jumps on this skinny beam. And then now we start climbing the outside. Squeeze through there, turn around, land on the beam. And then go well out alongside the path here. A little bit inside again. And then here we're going to do what is known as bomb jump. More on that later. Not high enough. Still not high enough. There we go. Whoops.
There we go.
Have to drink a potion because we have to be full health at the top. So we're going to do a big drop. So now we're almost at the top. It looks like you can just jump in here, but there's an invisible wall on our right now. So we just have to be high enough to jump over it and land safely, like that. I didn't actually need the health, because...
There we go.
I didn't actually need the health, because I actually nailed the last jump, but just wanted to play it safe.
Yep, because you don't want to die doing this climb.
And now for some exposition between Sobek and Ted Farrow. And if you see anyone type Ted Farrow did nothing wrong in the chat, you have permission to delete their message.
Yes, ban them.
Just setting up my weapons here. So these holograms are technically cutscenes, but they can be skipped, sadly. Yeah. So let's just enjoy.
You can show off the monkey collisions while we are up here.
True, but one sec, I am quickly standing in a very specific spot here. Because there's gonna be 3 holograms here with Ted and Sobek. And in between those, like between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3, Aloy has a little bit of dialogue because she comments on what she just saw, even though she's standing back turned.
It's worse than that.
And turns out, like right in front of me is another dialogue trigger, because normally if you climb it the intended way, you come from that spot over there. So you'll see me roll forward there to hit that dialogue trigger, and that skips the dialogue in between the holograms.
Fully aware.
Because
It's bad.
both dialogues cannot play at the same time, so skipping the one in between just spawns the second hologram faster. And right down here is another one, so we're gonna skip the one between 2 and 3 as well. What were you saying, Brian?
I was saying that you're supposed to show off the wonky or missing collisions up here.
Ah, yes, we'll do that on the last hologram. Because we are quickly doing this here as well. But right here in these holograms, we basically learn what happened to the old world, because that's what we're figuring out now. So I can quickly explain the 3 branches of the main quest. Is obviously the main goal is to stop this god known as Hades, which I will work towards in the final quest. But like I said, to unlock said final quest, we have to complete 3 branches of the main story. And the 3 branches are helping the Nora, the tribe we were with in the beginning, to get their revenge. Is one part of the branch. The other part of the branch is, like I said, helping Aaron figure out what happened to his sister. And the last part of the main quest is what we are currently doing, which is learning about the past and also figuring out, you know, Aloy's backstory, like why doesn't she have a mother? But basically learning the past plot. And now we are learning what happened 1,000 years ago and why this is post-apocalyptic. But more on that in a second, because Dorian really wants me to show this off.
Yes!
Also, fun fact, mounts in this game can only be called when you're outside. And technically not when you're inside buildings, but this balcony appears to be outside, even though it's on top of the building. So we can just whistle for mount and it magically appears in the office here. Just like that. Let me just place him here. So this office up here is a little bit busted, because we can also do a bit of a magic trick here. Because we can make Aloy disappear. Because this pillar has no collision. So Aloy's gone. Just like that.
Yeah. For some reason on all of the pillars on the, I guess if you look from the outside, inside on the left side, just don't have a collision. For some reason.
Yep.
They just forgot. Have they fixed that in the remaster?
Yeah, it is sadly fixed in the remaster.
No.
So we can't do the magic trick in remaster.
That.
But what we just learned here from Sobek and Zed Pharaoh, the people from the past, is Pharaoh owns the company, the building we're inside of, called Pharaoh Automated Solution. And they made automatic war machines. And
Peacekeepers.
Yeah, peacekeepers as they're known. And they went rogue due to a glitch. We still don't know in the lore what caused the glitch, but more on that in maybe Horizon 3 when that comes around in 2027. So, anyway, but a glitch happened that caused the robots to go rogue, and Pharaoh thought it would be a really good idea to also make those war robots self-replicating. So they basically started self-replicating, taking over the world, and more importantly, in order to fuel all that, they of course can convert any biomass into fuel, meaning they were basically eating anything that were producing oxygen and slowly killing the world. Which basically made this giant robot army go out of control, and the world had roughly 15 months left to live.
Limited self-manufacture control.
Exactly, as Ted Pharaoh would put it. Ever the PR man. So yeah, basically war robots went rogue in the world and basically destroyed it. Like killed everything on Earth, including plant life and everything, turned the Earth into a rock. But somehow, Elizabeth Sobek, the scientist Pharaoh was talking to, found a way to fix it with something called Project Zero Dawn. I know, roll credits. But more on that later. Because now we're back to the War Chief Priest, because now it's more convenient to do it. So now we're gonna help the Nora get their revenge on the thing that happened in the Proving.
Mods, somebody, Nico, please.
But also we learned, as we'll get to later, is that Elizabeth Sobek was headed to the US Robot Command, or Military Robot Command, which is known as the Grave Ward in Aloy's world. So that's where we're headed after we head to the Nora, and that happens to be going north, and helping the Nora is also going north. So that's why the quests are lining up like this, because normally in casual playthroughs, helping the Nora main quest, you would usually do very early in the run. Or in most playthroughs, I would say, it's done very early on. So right here is a little bit more fast travel abuse here, because it's faster to activate that fast campfire and fast travel to it than it is walking there. And then we are quickly gonna shoot once here to alert the enemies that are in the fighting area here on the other side, because the Stormslinger is very
triggering a
loud.
checkpoint,
Yep.
which puts us directly, yeah, inside the fight, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, technically still outside, but yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
God.
When
really
when
hard
Egg
to-
is shooting with the Stormslinger, you could see these little, like, I guess, notches fill up around the cursor.
My
No.
This is the
do it.
current overcharge status of the Stormslinger. If that's filled up all the way, that means trouble for
Over the
us.
past month, accidental blaze explosions have killed a dozen men. Here in the Ring of Metal, I've taken the precaution of placing our
So right there, we quickly take care of all the Eclipse here in this base, because we're trying to figure out where the Eclipse are hiding in the Nora territory, so we can get our revenge by wiping them out, because they killed a lot of Nora doing the proving. Turns out they're hiding in something called the Ring of Metal, which is what we just learned there.
There's
So that's where we're heading to next.
sounds.
But first,
Look, Nico,
quickly, a
technically,
little bit of
if you
weapon
want
spot.
to play that blame game, then you need to blame Alice. Because that audio was coming from her.
Yeah, and now we use the campfire we unlocked earlier in Mother's Crown, if you remember. You probably don't remember. As long as you still remember that we activated the side quest called Log of the Hunt. Again, keep that in mind. You'll need to remember it in about 45 minutes. Ish.
Yeah. It's gonna be a bit more until that gets really relevant.
So coming
But
up here, we actually...
allows a huge time step later.
Yeah. So coming up here, we're gonna do... we are technically already doing it. Is because this quest, known as Revenge of the Nora, it's actually already started when you finish the War Chief, like we just did. But normally there's an objective you have to go to first, which is on the hill to our left. And then you go to the city that's, or broken down city from the past here that's on my right. But if you just go straight to the city, it turns out all the objectives of the quest is already loaded in. So you can skip that first checkpoint for now and just head straight to the other objectives. Which is what we're gonna do here by clearing out these camps. Give me a sec. This one is pretty hard to do efficiently, so let me just focus. Little bomb there, fire arrow there. Only got one, so that's gotta keep that in mind. Little guy down, right up here, because we didn't get both, and there we go. Normally I wouldn't ride up here if I killed both with a fire arrow, but I did not. So that's the first camp down. So there are 3 camps we need to destroy in the city, which after those are destroyed, we then head into the main thing, which is the Ring of Metal. So that was the first camp. You also notice that quest objectives is not updating right now. That's because we skipped the first objective. But again, completing all the objectives right now still kind of counts towards the quest, but you'll see in a second after Ring of Metal. So here we're gonna do the stealth camp here, and yes, it's stealthy as long as you don't get spotted. It doesn't have to look stealthy. Oh, we got spotted, we failed our stealth. But we're still shooting fast enough that they can't call for help. So technically still stealth. Just remember that, kids. If there's no witnesses, you did it stealthy.
Yeah. This is not legal advice.
Not legal advice, but make sure you leave no witnesses. So that was the second camp, and then the third camp is right here. Also a thing with this trick when you do the objectives early in the quest. Since you don't see the quest objectives, you kind of have to know where every single enemy is, because the game is not going to tell you if you killed all of them. So it's very important you remember. Oh, undershot that a little bit, and this guy is right there. Good. Also on that quest we intentionally got spotted to alert the guys down in the trenches to get them to move a little bit out so we can actually hit them with bombs. But those are the 3 camps done. And also, because you're doing this trek, there's also no checkpoint, so if you clear a camp and accidentally leave one guy alive, the entire camp has to be redone.
Ho!
Because
Yes,
then all of
Nico.
them respawn.
If I'm
Sound.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But now we cleared the camp, so now we are gonna head into Ring of Metal, where we're gonna have the big final fight with
Go
the
now.
final fight with the
Relay
Nor
on your
against the Eclipse. Or is it? Spoiler. Or sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious, or whatever the saying is. And Ring of Metal here, in case you don't know, the city we are currently in is Denver. So I guess this is the Denver Stadium, which I don't know what's called in real life. I believe they play the Handake
some
thing here.
sponsor name.
Probably. All American names have... all American stadiums have sponsor names.
The Empower Field at Mile High.
Empower Field at Mile High, gotcha. That's apparently the name. I mean, it's not the worst American stadium name I've heard.
Take my
I
hand.
remember there was one that was called Smoothie King Arena or something like that. I think that was in Miami, if I remember correctly. Which is just silly. Silly Americans and all their sponsors. Anyway, back to the game. So we're just gonna skip these guys because we don't have to kill these guys, but we have to kill everyone in here. First we're gonna use our ice rail here, which is basically just one giant rail gun to miss that shot. So we still need to shoot 2 more times. But we intentionally kill this guy first, and then we're gonna set up the big trap here in the background from far away like that. The reason why
Normally you're supposed to run through and then blow it up.
Yeah.
You can just hit it from the back with the right weapon.
Yep. And also, what's it called there? The reason why we killed the Belloback first, the green machine, is because that gets all these guys to line up better. Where are you guys? Oh, you spawned down here first. That's unusual. But it's fine. Good clear out.
We hate it if that happens.
This guy's just randomly there. This guy's still not peeking.
I hate it if I need to go in there.
Yeah. I think that's everyone. Yep.
Yep, looks good.
Excuse me. Get a little bit of a cough there. But yeah, that clears up the Ring of Metal. But now we're actually gonna head back up here, because now we have completed all the objectives in the quest. So first we're gonna get to this campfire here, again activate it, and then fast travel to it. Call him out. And then we're gonna start the quest. So this is the first cutscene of the quest. And as you can see right here, because we complete all the objectives, it just completes instantly.
And I actually want to call out that this cutscene is specifically made for you have cleared out the camps already. So this is that you can clear the camps is intended by the game.
Yeah.
That you can also complete the following quest in the Ring of Metal. That is not intended behavior anymore.
Exactly. But the quest is just like, oh, you started the quest, and then the quest is like, oh, you cleared all the objectives. Quest complete. So basically just doing it in reverse order allows us to complete it quickly, and it just lines up better. Because now we're back on the tail of Elizabeth Sobek, because we're headed, excuse me, to Gravehorde. Let me quickly grab some water, because
Stay hydrated, everybody.
all this talking is drying out my throat. Stay hydrated, everyone. So yeah, now we are back to Gravehorde. So we just helped the Norm get their revenge on the Eclipse, and also cleared them out in the Nora territory, so they can live a bit more peacefully again. But now we're heading all the way north here to Gravehorde, which is the former US military robot command, which is something we'll probably have in real life in about 10 years. Something like that. Because that's where our next clue as to what happened in the past is. Because we're trying to figure out what was Project Zero Dawn like. Why did the Earth end, or did the Earth end, or what was Zero Dawn that prevented it from happening to stop the war robots from spreading? That is what we're gonna figure out up here, or hopefully figure out. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, as Silence would probably say. And if you have any questions about the run, especially in the LEGO community, feel free to ask. I can see chat, by the way, during the run, so just want to bring that up. So this quest starts off here with a lot of enemies, just like we saw in the Ring of Metal, that, well, they're here, but they're kind of just a suggestion. You don't actually have to kill them. So we are just gonna squeeze right past them. Just like so.
Wait, so what? Where do you don't need to go back to them to Sona at Red Echoes? No, you definitely need to do that on PC as well. Pretty sure.
Yeah, on PC, yeah. Unless they messed it up in the remaster. Because
no,
otherwise you can start the Eclipse Space quest later.
About PC original. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what he's referring to with go back to them.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean. Aloy, please. You're picking the wrong one. Thank you.
That's true.
Also, simplified Konami code here. Coming up. Up, down, left, right.
We already did one. This one is up, down, down.
Yeah. You're doing them in a different order than I do. Which confuses the heck out of me, but hey.
I used to do it the opposite way, but then Scott told me the other one is that method is faster, and it is faster by a second, if you care. So I started doing it that way too. So yeah, more enemies here, don't need to kill them. Then we're gonna do a little bit of a wall run here by dropping this particular hitbox. So we can skip a bunch of the climbing here. And then coming up here is another conversation, which looks like a hologram, but this one is actually a conversation between Aloy and Silence, a guy we're talking to through our focus, by the way. And we can actually skip this one by picking up this power cell, just like that. So it just overrides the other dialogue. And then we're gonna do a fun little thing here where we're gonna shoot this floor before the cutscene starts, which removes the floor beneath us. Then we're gonna kill these two guys. Start freezing this guy, dodge the stomp.
Hello, Deathbringer, by the way.
Frozen, then we're gonna hit him twice, like that. Then we're gonna do that, Kobe. Boop, boop, and then snipe. Oh, I missed it. That was close. There we go. Nice. So you might notice I took a big fall there without dying. And that's because, like I said, I destroyed that floor through the door, or before the cutscene started. And during that cutscene, Aloy walks out to the floor. But because the fall started while the cutscene was playing, Aloy is technically invulnerable. So therefore she couldn't take damage from the fall. So that allows us to just drop down into that arena much faster than you otherwise would have to. So just a neat little trick. And also, in case you're wondering why I went all the way up to the Deathbringer so close to bait out the stomp, that was to, like I said, get him to do the stomp attack, which basically when he has done the stomp attack, he has a bit of a cooldown for a couple of seconds, which gives me enough time to fully freeze him and shoot him before he fires off his missiles, which would stun me if they hit me.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of small details that go into all these fights, as you can tell, but it's hard to go over all the details when you're mid-marathon and they happen so fast. But
the stomp attack is by far the easiest one to avoid.
Yep.
So we intentionally bait that attack out.
Yeah, and like I said, while after a stomp, he's kind of like stunned for a couple of seconds before he does anything else. So it gives us also a lot of time to...
if you are wondering why the heck we are just running around collecting items, because there's another hologram playing here, in here, that we can't skip.
Yeah, this is all the US generals that are discussing the robot threat with Dr. Sobek right here, who has the same height as Aloy for some reason, and they look very similar. More on that later.
Oh, sus.
A little sus. Again, foreshadowing is sometimes obvious.
The file I'm sending contains the war plan for Operation Enduring Victory. War plan?
But basically what we learn here at the military command is so big to make the Project Zero Dawn work, she needs as much time as possible, which she doesn't have because of the war robots. So the US military starts what is known as Project or Operation Enduring Victory, which is basically telling every military personnel that's out there, or anyone willing to fight, to go fight these war robots and to buy as much time as possible, so Zero Dawn can be finished. So sadly we don't actually know what Zero Dawn is still, but we learned that what the humans had to do to stop the robots. And there's a lot more story that goes into Enduring Victory that is really sad, if you read all the data points around this area. But basically a giant human sacrifice to buy as much time as possible for Zero Dawn. But we also learned that the Zero Dawn project was located in Bryce, Utah, so we have to head back to the western part of the map. But first, we're gonna head back to Meridian to quickly progress the quest, or the Aaron's sister plot. Because we have to go to talk to the Sun King about the findings we had earlier when we were with Aaron.
This is one of the mostly useless splits in the game.
Yep. Technically you can do this almost at any point in the run. The reason why we do it here is because, well, now since we're using loadless time these days, it's just the fastest route across the map, going between the quests. But even more importantly, back in the day, when we didn't use loadless time, in the early days of Zero Dawn, loading screens in this game are longer depending on how long you fast travel, due to how the engine works. Because when you fast travel, it doesn't actually teleport Aloy. It just covers up the screen with a loading screen and actually physically flings Aloy across the map to the location you fast travel to. And therefore the loading screens are longer the further you fast travel. Fun fact. So back in the day, before we did loadless time, this was getting this in here, where we just stand here waiting with Arad and the Sun King and Aaron, by the way. They're just creepily staring. Ignore it. Don't stare at them too long. Yeah, back when it was loadless time, this was the way to have the shortest loading screens with this route. But we use loadless time now, so that's not really a concern. But that's why we do it here still, just for convenience as well, because that's what we always done.
I know.
So yeah, normally you're supposed to follow the other guy that follows you up to the king, but you can just walk ahead of him and then wait, while they just stare blankly out into space trying to ignore the cute girl in front of them. I'm sure we've all been there in that situation. So, related.
I mean, to be fair, Aaron wouldn't. And Avad neither.
So yeah, now we are gonna head off to what is the Eclipse main base. Because Silence has told us where it is, because he seems to know a lot. But yeah.
Sus.
Sus. Indeed. And he's kind of helping us because he realizes Aloy has a really good knack for finding things about the old world, and he's very interested in the knowledge of the old world, to put it mildly. And the reason why we're heading to Eclipse Base, even though we know we have to go to Bryce, Utah to find Project Zero Dawn, is because it turns out where Bryce, Utah is now known as Sunfall, which is the home of the Shadow Carter, which the Eclipse is part of, so Aloy can't just go there because they'll know who she is. So we have to crash their focus network, which they're using to communicate, so they won't spot Aloy. And to do that, we have to go to the Eclipse main base to destroy it. little bit of bad idea there with that sawtooth. Gonna get hit again. Yep.
Stop it, Kitty. Stop it.
I thought I could get back on the mountain before he turned. I overestimated it. But oh well. We're out of his zone now.
Stop.
There we go.
Yeah, to quickly touch on the shadow culture, while we are just riding over here.
There's a lot of lore in this game.
Yeah. Is the tribe culture. And since reasons they have I guess kind of ongoing, but half ceasefire.
Yeah, they have a civil war that's under ceasefire.
Civil war.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So yeah,
so they are,
and the Shadow Carja has a subdivision that is known as the Eclipse, which is trying to find a war and get war machines for a god called Hades.
Yeah, and also they call all the shots inside of the Shadow Culture. They have
And go.
complete control over them.
Yep. Because the two main heads of the Shadow Carja, Helis and Bahavas, are part of the Eclipse, or the founders of the Eclipse as well.
I mean,
so the Shadow Carja is
the
almost
head
a
of the
cover
Shadow
for them.
Culture is Itamen.
Yeah.
Technically, but he's a young child.
Yeah.
All right.
So
What now?
other people are calling the shots.
Yeah. Yes. Basically, the Shadow Carja has a child king, and people take advantage of that because that's what you do throughout history when you have a child king.
Yep.
And then when they get old enough, they have a hunting accident with their uncle or something. Because that's what happens in history most of the time.
Inside of the Eclipse base here now, we are sneaking in.
Yeah, very stealthy as you can see.
Very stealthy, alerting all the enemies, but with some nice parkouring, we can skip a lot of climbing here. And also with the gate skip here now, we can skip needing to kill all of the enemies here. So yeah,
The gate's barred.
Yep.
that's otherwise. Normally you need to kill all the enemies in that area, then go around, knock over a tree, which you can use as a bridge to get past that gate. But you can just
Built some kind
jump
of
over it.
structure around it.
Right here on top of this tall neck machine, which you have probably seen in Lego form if you watch the trailers, or maybe you have one. Is what they use for the communications network, so we just destroyed that. And now Hades is really mad, because it turns out he's here, the god.
Inside a big bowling ball, which is glowing red.
Yes,
What do you think I'm
Thus.
doing? Taking a nap?
but like a fellow speedrunner would like to call him, the giant stress ball.
Yep.
Gonna do some more skips here, because just like the proving, this is a very zigzaggy path, so we're gonna make it a straight line. By going a little bit over top here. Just a
Which
switch.
is technically out of bounds.
Technically.
Keep running.
But the game gives you a lot of liberty with moving around the environment. I know some people like to call that the Skyrimming of the game. Because Skyrim is famous for, if you see it, you can probably climb it. And Horizon kind of lives up to that. So yeah, that was the Eclipse base, just crash the network and escape. And now we can head to Project Zero Dawn, which, like I said, is in the Sunfall, capital of the Shadow Carja. Because now they can't see through the focuses, so they don't know what Aloy looks like. Or they won't recognize her, at least. And Sunfall is right over there in the mountains, which is the big bastion the Carja used to protect themselves against the Forbidden West. That's the sequel. Oh my god. Even though we learn in the sequel that the border has moved a lot further since the Forbidden West, or the West became forbidden, so it's not actually the bastion against the Forbidden West anymore.
The Mad King drowns some palace.
But you'll learn about that in the sequel,
Which you will see after this one. So stay tuned for that. Oh, actually,
we have one run in between.
No. Yeah, we have a short category extension.
Yeah, gotta have some meme runs in there.
The sun. Proud tradition. Now we get to
So we just saw the sun ring there, which is what the Shadow Kaja uses to sacrifice people.
Success.
Where they just throw them in a gladiator arena with machines and no weapons.
If you want to hear about today's bout,
No, they wouldn't do that anymore, would they?
not going to make any
Surely not. And right here we just get some plot for some side quests. That's obviously not something we're doing in this run, even
We
though the
need
side
side
quest really
quests.
should be main quest, but yeah.
Yes. I mean, technically, we do need one side quest.
No.
What?
Very important that you hear what I'm about to
Yeah, for this one. We need one side. Oh, no, actually, it's an errand.
Oh yeah, but we don't complete
I've
it,
shown you
technically.
No, we don't complete it.
But this simple event marks a point of no return. Before you descend into the depths here, you should be
But we
fully
need
committed,
it.
equipped,
So
and
I guess
focused.
that counts.
No distractions.
Indeed.
If you have
And now we're heading into what is known as Project Zero Dawn,
I won't tolerate whining.
where we're gonna get all the exposition for
You'll
what
tolerate
Zero
my
Dawn
guilty
is.
silence. I didn't ask you along.
And long story short, because I'm gonna explain it first, because there's gonna be a lot of things happening at the end of this. But basically what we learned in here is that Zero Dawn, or Project Zero Dawn, is basically the solution to... turns out it's not a super weapon like initially thought,
We found it.
because they didn't actually stop the war robots. The war robots actually killed everyone on Earth. And every living creature,
Like,
including plant
all of
life
them.
and everything. So the Earth did
Everything.
turn into a lifeless rock.
Holographic theater.
But Zero Dawn was a project to develop AIs, or one big AI, known as Gaia, that would then repair the Earth once everyone was dead, or deactivate the robots and then begin repair the Earth by building machines that are the machines we are seeing that would go around, build a bunch of stuff that would then replant life, yada yada yada, and then eventually
Find out how she lives.
spawn a lot of new humans through artificial wombs. And that's how Aloy's world came to be.
They got in.
Roughly 1,000 years later, or 300 years later. But Aloy lives 1,000 years later, because there's been a couple of generations since the new humans appeared. So that's effectively how So Big saved the Earth.
Whole Earth destroyed.
But more on that in a sec, because now we got some important stuff coming up here. Pay attention now, we got a lot of skips back to back. First we got these guys we have to kill here. Careful with the Storm Slinger. There you go. Played that a little safe, but it's marathon, so better safe than sorry. And right here we're
Fun
gonna
fact,
skip
this
a
is-
puzzle to grab... Oh, grab this power cell up here.
Yeah, fun fact, this is one of the few differences between this one on console and PC. Because on PC you can just ignore these guys. On console you have to kill them. Otherwise you can't continue with the quest.
And so we grabbed that emitter there to fix the second puzzle through the floor, so we didn't have to do the first puzzle. Then we're gonna head up here, and then we normally have to do a big fight in this room with a bunch of Eclipse. But we can jump in these boxes and then use this pillar to...
You can't evade the shadow.
Aloy, would you mind standing on the boxes? Thank you.
Yeah, so what we are doing here is called a Zero Dawn skip. By escaping this fight before we are supposed to, we will basically sequence break the quest and glitch the map in a semi-consistent state. Because normally after you complete this quest, the state of the map will change with some lore reasons, and the main implications of that is that we could not fast travel all the way to the next objective we need to.
Yeah, you'll see
However-
that in a sec.
Yeah. With doing this skip, we get outside of this quest without changing the map state. So we can still fast travel after that.
Technically, the
means-
map state changes, but the quest is still locked to the quest inside Zero Dawn.
True, the map state kind of changes, yes, that is correct.
So you'll notice that it still says the quest is called Deep Secret of the Earth, and the objective is Kill the Eclipse. And it will stay that way for a bit here. Because it's not actually updating any objectives. So the game thinks we're still locked in that area fighting the Eclipse, but the game still progresses, as you can see here. Because it turns out we figured out what Zero Dawn was. Now we get captured by the Eclipse, who's gonna throw us in that sun ring. Quickly, we have to talk to this guy called Helis.
All the hey, it doesn't.
Fun fact, the voice actor for Helis, I always like to bring this up, is also the voice actor for Winston in Overwatch. Which sounds completely different, so the dude is really talented.
Thing with the weapons. My weapons are up
And then
on
we're
top.
gonna fight here.
There's no way out of this
Since
fight.
we have no weapons, we have to bring down the platform above by taking down 2 of these pillars. So we're gonna stand right here, dodge at the right time, like so,
Another hit, and that pillar
to
will
get
come
them
down.
to the first pillar, then get behind the second pillar here, go a little bit behind so he has some leeway to run up here, and then he's gonna stump that one. There we go. And that brings down the thing.
Yep. Or does it, if you look closely? Does it bring down the thing?
Because there's 2 platforms, as you can see, because like we said, we kinda left the game thinking we're still on the previous quest. So the map
So the
or the
state
things
of the
behind
world
the
is
little
distant.
Yeah. So you notice here, even though we are outside Zero Dawn, it still has the Zero Dawn quest active. When we get objectives back on the screen after this cutscene here.
Hey!
There we go.
Guess who got
So
away?
see, it still says kill the Eclipse
Now
as
you're
objective.
big shot Come and get it.
Now we just quickly have to kill this guy. Oh, he's double stomping today. That's convenient. We're
Yeah,
gonna-
we like that.
Yeah. Instead of running away like he does 9 out of 10 times. But there we go, we kill him, and then the cutscene starts in a second when the music gets to a certain spot. More on that in a bit.
Yeah.
Because right now,
It's
since
just so
we,
weird that this is cycle based, but hey.
we can talk about that in a sec. But yeah, Silence basically saves us in that cutscene. Then we talk to him here.
Too bad.
And basically what happened there, Helis, the leader of the Eclipse,
The tr-
basically ordered every Nora killed because he thought we were there, so that was a way to get revenge after we destroyed the network. So the Embrace, where we were at in the beginning, is now attacked by the Eclipse, so we have to go back and stop that. And normally you can't fast travel in the Embrace, but because the game still thinks we're inside Zero Dawn, we can. Because we left the game in that state, as I talked about, of thinking we're still inside Zero Dawn. So we fast travel inside the Embrace now, which obviously then creates a checkpoint that we have saved at this campfire that we fast travel to. Because we're then here, and then restarting from save gets the game to then catch back up and realize, oh wait, you're not inside Zero Dawn, you actually completed those last 2 quests. So it completes them now, and spawns all the Eclipse inside the Embrace here. Which we can then progress this quest without having to go all the way through the Embrace, because we were able to fast travel inside of it. And then right here, I'm quickly gonna shoot up here. That alerts the enemies above. Then I'm gonna swap out this weapon and then dodge that guy.
So now
Make
Egg
sure all
has
my weapons are
the
loaded.
ice rail equipped twice. One time as a variant with all freeze, and one time as a variant with
They're
all
still
edge.
alive.
Yep. And then we're gonna fight this Corrupted Thunderjaw, the iconic machine from Horizon. Make sure we freeze him at a particular spot here, so he stays frozen right there. One shot to the heart, and then there, and then one more shot. Boom, he's dead.
Clean.
2 down there. Who's alive? Just a little shot to the heart to give love a bad name, and there we go. Everyone's dead.
I see what you did there.
Yep.
I thought we would die.
But yeah, pro tip, if you fight Thunderjaw, first reveal the heart, then shoot the heart. If you freeze the machine before that, then yeah, it's trivial because freeze is freaking OP in this game.
Yep.
Like absolutely OP.
And if you're wondering why did I shoot those shock shots before the fight started, down below, it alerted the machines above again, just like we did early in the run. And when they are alerted, it starts the cutscene above much earlier. So that's why.
Because what if she?
And now we can finally enter the store we weren't able to enter when right after the proving. But inside Zero Dawn we got the code that allows the door to open. And this is where we learned that what happened with Aloy. So it turns out that Zero Dawn and the AI rebuilding the world got destroyed. Or self-destructed, because it got a mysterious signal that I'm sure Greedy will talk about when he plays Forbidden West, because in this game we don't know what it was. But a mysterious signal was sent that destroyed the AI, or destroyed basically its...
What was this place exactly?
Long story short, it sent a signal that sent free all its subordinate functions, one of them being Hades. And it self-destructed in order to prevent Hades from escaping immediately, to buy herself a lot of time, the AI, and then it sent out a signal as well to this cradle facility where all the new humans were born, which is where we're inside now, to spawn a clone of Elizabeth Sobek, who is Aloy.
Going to be interesting.
So Aloy is actually a clone of Elizabeth Sobek, the scientist that created Zero Dawn, because she knew that a clone of Sobek would have access to all the Zero Dawn functionalities, and that Aloy would then grow up and have time to stop Hades. So what is Hades? Well, I've referred to it as a god so far, because that's what the Eclipse think it is. But it turns out Zero Dawn... Oh, got a fast roll. Didn't hit R2. Or I didn't hit X. So it turns out Zero Dawn, like I said, was one big AI called Gaia that was rebuilding the Earth after the apocalypse. And Gaia consists of 9 subordinate functions, each with their own purpose. And Hades is one of those subordinate functions. But the mysterious signal that got sent to Gaia 19 years ago when Aloy was born broke the bonds that kept Gaia control over the subordinate functions and allowed them to escape. And what's it called? Basically allowed all the subordinate functions to escape, and they are now kind of running rampant on their own. And the problem is Hades is basically the reset button of the AI, because to have an AI that's powerful enough to recreate the Earth, it might not do it correctly the first time, so they created Hades as one of the sub-functions that would basically take control over Gaia and reset the Earth back to zero in case she recreated the Earth and it didn't work. So that AI's entire purpose is basically to cause the apocalypse to happen again so Gaia can start over. But Gaia self-destructed to, prevent that from happening because the Earth is functioning, it doesn't need to restart. But it self-destructed, which basically allowed Hades not to get full control and reach its full power, to buy Aloy enough time to grow up. And, God, it's hard to explain simply. So yeah, now Hades is on the loose, and it's a subordinate function, which is basically an AI, which sole purpose in the world is to destroy the Earth so Gaia can start over. But since Gaia is gone, the Earth will not start over as Hades is successful. And Hades, when Gaia is self-destructed, transformed itself back into an old warbot, where it can no longer move. It's kind of like in an old warbot, where it basically just exists. And it somehow got in contact with the Eclipse, and the Eclipse is now helping Hades raise an army that can get it to the point where it can take over the world by reactivating all the old Pharaoh robots and destroy the Earth again, which is the sole purpose of Hades. So that, long story short, that is what's happening. Did I miss anything other than 1,000 details? But I think that's simply explained.
Yeah, and obviously we don't want that to happen, so our goal now is to stop Hades from destroying the world.
Yep.
Because we're the good ones, we're the hero of the game. We need to save the world.
Yep. And now we're back holding Aaron and finding his sister.
More law to that, but who has time for that?
Now we're back on the other main quest, which we are trying to figure out what happened to Aaron's sister. And we got some information that it turns out it's Derval that's part of this, who is like, he's basically a guy that wants revenge on the Kaja and Aaron's sister. For various reasons. I'm not gonna get into that, that's a whole other plot point. But basically he wants revenge, and that's why he's captured Aaron's sister. And we know where he is, or we know where his workshop is, so we're gonna hit there and free Ursa. Which is where we're going right now. And hopefully these kitties are not gonna be annoying, but I think we're good. Yeah, they're just roaring. So we're safe.
Yeah, they're usually not that annoying.
No. Sometimes you get unlucky with that. We have had enough bad
most
luck
of
in this
the
round
time
already.
They are harmless, mostly.
So up here, we are hopefully gonna do somewhat stealthy scene here. I'm gonna go full focus here, so if you wanna say anything, Dorian, be my guest.
Yeah. So coming up is the big fight in Davos camp, where we try to kill all of the enemies in here stealthy, because then they will stay at their place. The moment when they move from their spot, it will get chaotic, and we don't want it. As long as they are all where they are supposed to be, we can just pick them off one by one, and this should work smoothly. Ignore the red things, those are machines that are tied down in here. Ignore those. So currently he's picking off one by one with clean headshots or triple shots to the body. So far it's looking really good.
There we go, perfect. And I'm killing them in a very specific order, so I'm killing them one by one so they don't spot or alert each other. So killing them in the order where they won't spot the corpses is what I'm trying to say. But there we go, that was a really clean fight, let's go.
Yes, that was really clean.
Yeah, and then we find Ursa here in the basement, but she just dies in Aaron's arms. And she tells us that Derval is plotting to destroy Meridian. So we'll get back to that in a bit. To get his revenge on the Sun King. But rest in peace, Ursa. Also another fun voice actor fact for people that have played Horizon, Ursa and Talana, same voice actor.
But yeah, the attack on the main city of the Kaja has to wait.
Yeah.
First we need to go to the mountain that fell. So,
yeah, so basically back where we were with the Nora after the Thunderjaw fight, Gaia had left a message for us for when we got old enough. And it basically told us to head to what is known as Gaia Prime, the main facility where Gaia was supposed to be controlling from. Because in there's a master override, which can override Hades and basically stop him, rendering him useless or effectively killing him. So we have to go find that. But also, there's still an answer we haven't gotten in terms of Zero Dawn, because we also learned part of Project Zero Dawn was one of the subordinate functions was supposed to teach all the humans all the history of the past, but nobody seems to notice it, or know it, outside of Aloy and Silence.
No, Mount, come on.
Not... Can't even do a correct jump across now. There we go. Good boy. So we don't know what happened to what is known as the Apollo subfunction that was supposed to, when humans grew old enough, they would learn about what had happened in the past. And also how to prevent it, as well as a bunch of other knowledge to rebuild the world the way humans were living back in 2060 when the world went under in the Horizon world. But obviously that didn't happen, because Aloy's world is very primitive, with tribes and stuff. So clearly something happened to Apollo, but we don't know what yet.
Not corrupted.
So normally this is another stealth section where you have to go through a bunch of machines here, very stealthily, or you can fight them, but I would not recommend you fight them, because that's not easy. So instead what we're going to do is we're just going to go over the mountain where the machines aren't.
We play some Skyrim!
Exactly, what is usually referred to as Skyrimming over the mountain. Because yes, Skyrim is now a verb.
Yes. And you can absolutely disregard this message here that you are leaving the play area and should turn back.
Yeah, normally in
yes.
other games it will be something like, oh, if you see that message, it will be 5 seconds and it sends you back. In Horizon, it's just a message that basically tells you, you are very close to the edge, and if you cross that edge, we are gonna send you back to your last checkpoint.
Yeah.
But
so
since we never crossed that
distance based.
since we never crossed that edge, it doesn't send us back. So here we go. It also skips a big Stormbird fight that would normally be here, even though you don't have to fight that Stormbird, but the game is really good at implying you need to fight something.
3, 2, 1 or something like that.
The game is really good at... This game, by the way, in a lot of the quests, is really good at making you feel like you have to fight something, but you don't actually.
Yeah.
Now we are heading into Gaia Prime, and this is basically just a giant hole in the mountain, because Gaia is self-destructed by basically nuking herself. So that's why the mountain is kind of agape.
You made a climbing path for me, but left an army of machines for me to deal with.
So we're about to
And
learn
if you're
what...
wondering what all this build stuff here is, that was left by our good friend Silence.
Because he has been here for a long time, because... been trying to figure out what has happened, but since he's not so big, he doesn't have access to all the facilities Aloy does.
And I still find this a major plot hole.
Exactly
Why did he spend all this time trying to get through this door when he could just have built around it?
Yeah. Usually in video games when plot holes like this happen...
on the other side of the door.
Yeah. Usually, I know from what I've heard from many other game developers, is usually when plot holes like that exist in games, it's because the story was written before the area was created in-game. And they probably had an idea for one of the bigger doors to be there. But for some reason the design couldn't fit it in or something like that.
Glad that's over.
Because it's not like movies where producers have all the control and they both use the story and tell how it's gonna look like. In video games, the developers have a lot of power too. And if they tell you that can't be a door, then unlucky. Story writers don't have all the power in all the games.
Alright, we should probably start talking about hologram skip.
Yeah, so...
that is coming up now.
Yeah, so basically inside Gaia Prime here is normally you have to go around in a big circle, and along that circle there are 2 holograms that you have to watch. One after the other. But as you know, holograms are not skippable and they take a long time. So we're gonna start the first hologram right here and then we're gonna go back the way we came. Luckily for us, the first hologram has a massive radius where, as you saw in Gravehorde, you can kind of leave the room when a hologram is playing. And the radius of the holograms, how far you can go away, vary depending on the hologram, but this one allows you to go really far away and it keeps playing. You can see the subtitles are still there, even though we can't really hear it. And so what we're gonna do now is head back to the start. And remember, I said the area here is one giant circle you go around when you go the intended way. Which means the second hologram is actually very close to the beginning of the area. So we are heading back to the beginning of the area and then doing an unintended way here to get to the second hologram while the first one is playing. So what we're gonna do is a little skip here. Whoops. Up here. And we're gonna jump from here. Oh, nice, perfect jump. There.
Nice.
There and there. Because there's some handholds here on the other side that you normally can't grab from below because they're just out of reach, but if you get high enough you can just jump to them like that.
This is supposed to be your way out of here.
Yeah.
But we can also just use it to get in there.
Exactly. Because right up here is the room where the second hologram is. So the first one is still playing. And now we're gonna activate the second one. So now both of them are playing at the same time. And here's just where we learn what happened to Apollo.
What the hell is Omega clearance?
Because these are the alphas that were supposed to oversee Gaia for the first few years he was active.
Alpha personnel.
Long story short, there's a lot of lore.
I need you to listen.
Yep.
Takes more than 2 hours to go over it.
And Ted Farrow is an asshole.
This isn't easy.
Yes, because he's the guy that started the apocalypse, and he
Please.
obviously
We
feels a
wanna
lot of
have
guilt
a-
and
System, okay?
yeah.
Real quick, do we want to have a prediction for skip?
Sure. Go for it.
Stop trying to access the goddamn
Then
systems.
let's see if the Lego mods are back.
Yeah. It needs to be short, like 2
Can't stop
minutes.
thinking
Something.
about the
Because-
ones
Yeah.
going after us. Those innocents.
So you'll see in a second it's gonna pop up that the first hologram is finished.
And women.
We're gonna get a checkpoint for that.
Give them knowledge?
Now, it's a little bit more complicated than just playing both holograms at the same time. Because after each hologram, you have to talk to Silence, and that cannot be skipped.
It's not a gift, it's a
Which means we have to get back to Silence.
There's a cure, and we're gonna
But the problem is,
disease. Our
or there's actually an easy thing. You can restart from save now that the first hologram is finished. You can see my objective is talk to Silence.
to sacrifice.
So my checkpoint now is back at the first hologram, where Silence is.
I did it 3 minutes ago.
Because that's the checkpoint request sets for that objective.
Every copy.
So I can just restart from save now, and that puts us back to Silence. The problem, however, is the game doesn't actually save that you'll watch the second hologram, which we're doing right now. So we need a way to save
But sometimes
the progress we have made on the second hologram, because restarting from save,
innocents have to die.
something in the quest just doesn't register that you watched it. And I guess it's basically because the second hologram is still playing after the first one is finished. So that's why it doesn't save it. So Pharaoh killed all these guys and deleted Apollo, and that's why humans have no knowledge, because he didn't want them to know what happened in the past. And he is also afraid that if humans have the knowledge from the past, they will just, cause another apocalypse to happen, because humans are humans. Which he's probably right about. So we're gonna grab the Master Override here, and then I'm gonna open a box here, which has a boar skin in it, and then restart from save. Now, opening that box with the boar skin right there, remember the Log of the Hunt quest we started earlier, that I told you to remember? That has an objective to get 3 boar skins, or excuse me, 4 boar skins. But because this is New Game Plus, we can set up a save file to already have 2 boar skins.
What?
To already have 2, or excuse me, to already have 3 boar skins, so we only need 1 more. And in New Game Plus, you can also buy boxes that has a chance of having boar skins in them. So that's what we also have in New Game Plus, a box that has a boar skin in it. So when we loot that box, we get 4, and that updates the objective for that random side quest, and that gives us a checkpoint that then saves the fact that we have watched the second hologram. So we can just restart from save, go back to Silence.
So
and
to
clear that
interrupt you real
checkpoint.
quick, chat, the prediction is going whether we will get play skip.
Yeah, put up
Either
one.
completely, the first half of it only, or nothing.
Yeah.
So throw in your stats and see whether you will get them back or not.
For our but before some the truth. I helped.
You have 20 seconds left,
Yeah.
Which
Hate.
so be fast.
So how,
I take my.
then I. Oh.
So yeah, basically we used that side quest to save our progress inside Gaia Prime, that then allowed us to have both holograms at the same time. And then use the restart from saves to go between the 2 silent spots.
Okay, so the people are believing in you.
Oh. Well, better get that thumb ready.
56% are saying yes completely.
Hell yeah. I appreciate that. I've had a decent success rate recently. For playing skip, that is. So yeah, we finished Gaia Prime, we learned what happened to Apollo, and the reason why Ted is a dick, and he basically deleted all traces of the thing. So yeah. But now we are back in Meridian, we have to stop Derval from destroying the city.
I'm glad you're back.
She wouldn't tell him what.
I'll let only.
I'll run.
I'll meet.
So that's what we're doing right now.
Hey, look, when we but now.
So first we have to go to a warehouse that's full of blaze, because that's where a bomb is gonna go off. And that's where we're gonna do the famed blaze skip. So we'll see how it goes.
So Blaze skip
Yeah, you wanna
consists
explain it?
of yeah. Blaze skip consists of basically nailing 2 close to frame perfect inputs back to back
With a bit of movement. Yeah.
and a bit of movement in between. So we can skip a lot of dialogue if done correctly.
Is it a bomb? Too big.
If not, we need to listen to dialogue.
All right.
The first part is usually pretty easy. The second
get it.
is
Yeah.
that's tricky. And yeah, no. So
Didn't even
missed
get
the
the
first
first
part.
part.
Blaze.
there is
If that bomb downstairs goes off,
a slight
Just
window
what
where
Derval
you
promised.
can
smoke will darken the sun.
input the dialogue
As the
to
city goes up in
interact here,
flames.
because you can see right now
course,
at the bottom
there's
of the
gotta be a
screen
way to
there's
stop
this
it.
triangle. Not right now.
It looks like
For a
wooden
small
bracket.
time it's
very small.
interactable, so we could have opened this up before the dialogue and push out the bomb without needing to wait for the dialogue. But sadly, yeah, we missed it. So the answer for the poll is no.
Yep. Unfortunate.
There's smoke rising from the edge of the mesa.
So greedy, enjoy your channel
Sit
points.
inside.
Channel
Another one
starts.
of Derval's high.
Sorry,
Oh yeah, that's because it's the Lego channel,
We'll find a way into the palace.
obviously.
obviously.
Yeah. So now we're chasing down Derval because he's heading towards the palace where the king is to, you know. He doesn't actually kill him. He just wants him to watch the city burn. But since we destroyed the bomb, that's not happening. So instead, we're gonna quickly fight him.
Wish I could beat.
Which is gonna come up here. We're gonna do these two guys on sewer duty because we don't have to kill them. And then we're gonna fight with Derval and his two thugs. And then when we kill Derval, there's gonna be a bunch of Glinthawks that spawn.
We hate Glinthawks.
Yeah.
Glinthawks are the most annoying machines in this game.
Yep. I intentionally use my ice rail there to just spray ice on him until he dies, like freeze him to death. Because that gets the two other grunts like alerted, so they run towards me. And then we use the ice rail here to take out these Glinthawks, and let's see if we can nail the shots here. Because they have a lot of armor, so you have to shoot them in specific spots.
We
And as
are
you can
looking
see,
for
they're
that
flying
sweet
around, so
450
hitting them
damage.
is really hard, but
You like fighting these things because there's more in the way.
If we see the 450 damage, then we
There we
know
go.
that we killed them.
yeah, that was really clean shooting. But yeah, they have a lot of armor plates that are really easy to hit, and if you hit any of the armor plates,
Hey, look. You would have
it doesn't kill them. It has to be a clean
Yeah.
body shot.
Well,
You know what?
And since
now I
they're flying
kinda-
around, that's not easy. So hitting 6 out of 6 shots there was kind of nice. I know I missed one, but that was because I was aiming into an invisible wall there. Yeah, a little bit of
So,
a miss.
Eric, just for your information, there were 2 people voting no. Greedy and ISO.
it's
Nice. Enjoy the points. Of course those two don't believe in me.
I don't.
They know the odds. But now we have completed all the 3 main quest
Quietly does.
like branches, so now we have access to the final quest.
Create another enemy.
Which is basically Hades is coming towards the city here to use the giant spire that's outside Meridian, which is a old Zero Dawn,
So, other
old Zero Dawn, what would you call it? Radio tower? Yeah. Which is going to use to
transmission
send
tower.
out a signal to awaken all the warbots that are sleeping.
Only way out.
Which will then destroy the Earth again, just like they did 1,000 years ago. But we are obviously gonna stop that from happening. So we have to defend the city and the spire.
Empty.
I
first,
still laugh that
a little bit of
the place where you rest before the final main quest is the apartment that you broke into earlier.
Yeah. And this cutscene is unskippable, by the way. But at least we get the awesome upskirt shot.
And fireworks.
Yes.
Twice. We get fireworks twice in this cutscene.
So before we get the glorious upskirt shot, and yes, I know it sounds perverted, but trust me, you'll see what we actually mean. 'Cause
campfires, perhaps.
it's not what you think it is.
Massing forces for
I mean,
the
it is
long march to
exactly
the
what you
gates.
think it is.
Yes, just not the character you think it is. Because when you say upskirt shot and there's only one female character on the screen, you usually think one thing. But yeah.
No.
By the way, boom.
Fireworks!
But essentially, this quest here has 3 parts to it. First, we have to fight healers in a fight. which goes by really quick when we get to it. Then after that, we are gonna defend what is known as the Ridge, which is the gate to the city, from a bunch of machines coming towards us. And then once that's clear, we can go up and take on Hades at the end. So there'll be 3 parts to it, and they'll happen relatively quick, but I just wanted to get that in before we get to it. But you can see the War Machine army is coming to take the Spire.
Also, just to highlight it, we are now in the last main quest of the game.
Yep. Getting close to
This
the
is
end.
past the point of no return, so
All of you,
yeah.
be ready to fire.
We are getting close to the end.
And boom, again.
More fireworks!
And here comes the upskirt shot. There it is. Glorious
All
upskirt
its
shot on
glory.
Helis.
No! Rally the vanguard.
You thought it was gonna be Aloy, but no.
No,
We need those guns.
he will cut you down.
Not this time.
At least he chose to wear underwear today. Alright, so to take out Helios, he is really tough, so we have to railgun him twice in the face. Could you get out of the way, sir? Thank you. Stop firing your sling. Boom.
Also, Helis can block arrows with his hand.
Yeah, but he can't block a railgun, because that would be a little too OP. That was not far enough.
Yeah.
So to get to the ridge early, instead of taking the intended way, you can yeet yourself off the edge here. But it's very precise. You have to jump far enough to get to it and land in a specific spot. There we go. To hit the checkpoint for ridge defense.
Yeah, so this is basically a death abuse.
Yep.
To
that
hit a
spawns right in
checkpoint
the
and then
fight,
respawn after the fight.
Yep.
In the fight, not after the fight. Okay, so speaking about this fight, you can see the Deathbringers coming, and we will mainly use the ice rail to shoot their weak points, their guns on top. Each shot does 1000 damage to it, and the Deathbringer has 4000. So 4 shots. What you will notice is that after 3 shots, the cannon will break. So we need to swap to the other cannon on top to actually kill it. Because otherwise we would not deal 4000 damage.
There we go. So basically trying to kill the machines here in a very specific order.
For the casual player, and I guess for us as well, there are these awesome cannons here, which you can use to shoot at the machines. We use that cannon against more of the smaller machines because we have more area of effect damage with it. And we will use the ice rail against the bigger machines or the single machines, and the cannon against many machines on same one spot.
Yeah.
How much damage does hitting the tiny light thing deal? Do you mean the cameras that are on the Deathbringer? Or the eye? Because in theory, hitting the camera or the eye does deals more damage, but it's way harder to hit.
Yeah.
So
A little too risky
it's
for
not,
marathons to go for that strat.
yeah, it's not worth it. If you
Yeah, it
watch,
requires
New Game
quite a
Plus-
lot of focus to get it down.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna go
if
for it in the
you
marathon.
if you watch a New Game Plus story run, you will actually see them. They're getting right up into the face of the Deathbringers and get close to hit the cameras and take them out with one shot, usually. Not worth it on all. Because if you mess up this fight and die, then you need to redo a lot. There's one mid-fight checkpoint which you just passed with the small break in between That's the only checkpoint we have mid-fight. So dying here is pretty bad.
Yeah, in the speedrun it's about 2 minutes if you die, which is just way too much if you're going for a PB.
Alright, now we need to actually get a bit closer to the Deathbringer.
Yeah,
because otherwise he will... Yep. The ice rail has a lot of range, but it's not infinite. So we needed to get a bit closer to it.
Yep. And the way you position yourself here during this fight is super important. Because it kind of gets the machines to move a certain way. Oh. I did not see who was in that.
Hi, Corruptor.
Hello.
Would you kindly not?
Yeah, oh, there we go. Everyone's dead. Stomberg. AKA stupid Zapdos.
Yep. Yeah, so this corrupted Stormbot has also a lot of HP. So he takes quite a few shots.
Got him.
Let's go.
He did knock me off my gun there 1 sec, but we got it. So final stretch now. Got one more fight to go. A little bit of movement before we get there, but almost at the end to defeat Hades.
We are getting really close.
Or just to set up Greedy's run for later. Did we destroy Hades?
Ah.
Dun, dun,
Why
dun.
are you saying it like that, Elk? Sus.
As I have said 3 times now in this run, foreshadowing is sometimes obvious.
I mean, that's literally shown.
Yeah. So there you see Hades is being dragged towards the tower.
Yep. Stress ball! Now we
giant
actually
stress
see
ball.
him.
Yeah.
Because we skipped the cutscene earlier.
If you're wondering why I call him Giant Stress Ball, a runner that used to run the game back in the day had, like, every split had a meme name. And Hades he called the Giant Stress Ball. Because some runners just like their splits to just be a bunch of memes and inside jokes rather than useful for viewers.
They marched on the spire, dragging that thing with them.
Greedy is yelling at you to not spoil his run.
Gotta go.
Fair enough.
He even used bits to redeem a message effect.
Fair enough. Only because it's your birthday, really. Because, fun fact, it's Greedy's birthday. Wish him happy birthday.
Yep.
He's
I wanted
getting
to
old
call that
already.
out later in his run when he can't escape from it. Thanks for spoiling it again, Elk.
Yep. All the spoilers.
I wanted to do the good old TeamSpeak happy birthday song.
I mean,
With
you still
20
can.
people in the room.
You sure still can. So yeah, this is the section, by the way, we're going through in Meridian. Normally there will be a ton of your allies here fighting all the machines as you ride past from all the side quests you have completed, but this is a speedrun, they're not there. Aloy is on her.
Side quest? What is this?
Never heard of her.
They must have gotten through the defenses.
I do 100% as well, which, by the way, just want to mention it.
I have to get up there.
So check out a Hundo run if you're curious. But they are quite a bit longer.
All allies one.
Yeah,
not
but Hundo
that
is more
long.
fun. Shout out, Hundo is better.
The
Hundo
Skull
is
would
superior.
like to disagree.
Go. Keep pushing. Knew this wouldn't be easy.
All I can say is Hundo, being a Hundo runner of any game is just makes you part of the superior.
My
Alright, final fight coming up. It will be done pretty soon, ideally.
Yeah,
You will
ready on
see
time.
intentionally get close to bait out the stomp attack again, freeze him, and then strategically, yeah, deal the damage while he's frozen.
Oh, messed up the dodge. Timing there.
We want to see only one freeze cycle. And I think you probably should be good before the extra ice ray damage. You don't know. But yeah, so we need to swap the weapon up there, because otherwise it will break and we don't deal enough damage anymore.
My way's clear.
So there we go. Follow the time,
And
Threat.
time.
please. Let's go!
GG. That was a very messy run, but it was fun. As a marathon should be. It's always boring when you get a...
52-42.
Yeah. It's always boring when you get a, perfect run. At a marathon. Gotta have all the silliness. But GG's. We stabbed Hades with the Master Override. And he is dead and gone and buried.
Let's go.
For sure.
To activate state name and rank.
And yes, now we have one of the best cutscenes in video game existence.
Yep.
Purging extinction
It's
protocol.
so good. Just honestly.
I assume you mean the one after, but yes.
Yes.
Technically.
I consider this as one cutscene.
Fair enough.
But yes, technically it's the one after. But always an amazing, I guess, reward to finish a run. Is Roots New Game Plus? I believe so. But I actually don't. Yes, Roots % should be New Game Plus.
But
no
yeah,
tutorial.
GG's on the run. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, we still got 2 more runs to go in this marathon. Hopefully all of you are enjoying it. It's a lot of fun, and it's nice collaborating with another community on this, the LEGO community, and what's it called? I guess the excitement is building for the LEGO speedruns. So
Yes.
or the
Only-
LEGO Horizon coming out, but there will be speedruns of that eventually. Gonna
Only
enjoy it
like
casually first.
4 sleeps left or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. It's on first day, so if you play it on midnight, I guess you can sleep 3 more times.
I guess.
Yeah. 4 more times if you're not degenerate. But so that's it's really exciting. Really curious to see how they translate a lot of this stuff into LEGO, because hopefully, as we talked about here with the story, it's there's a lot to it and all that, and yeah, I'm just curious to see how they translate all that into the usual LEGO silliness. Because obviously, a lot of other LEGO games are based on relatively serious IP. But LEGO has like their own flair they put to it to make it a bit more silly and fun.
Okay,
So
sorry about
very
that.
curious to see how they do
was
that
it?
for Horizon.
You were telling a story.
But given the last trailer we saw, it looks like we are in
so,
very good hands.
Like I was saying, it was
Cutscene
a
time.
children's
Yeah.
electronics
So,
kit, but I hacked
final
the
cutscene
wiring
here.
into an auto battery. and
Remember
so it
the
could
game
be-
started
so the
with
grass
Aloy
caught
wanting to
fire.
head out into the world and find her mother.
A tall pine that
And,
had stood there, I don't know, maybe
Yeah, you'll see what happens.
100 years.
Query. You were how old?
6. My mother was home, thank God, so she called the fire department, and after, she took me out to the lawn and showed me the dead baby birds, because there were nests in the pine tree.
Query. What did you feel?
I'm not sure. I remember yelling that I didn't care, and that's when my mother took my face in her hands and spoke.
Query. What did she say?
She said I had to care. She said, Elizabeth, being smart will count for nothing if you don't make the world better. You have to use your smarts to count for something. To serve life, not death.
You often tell stories of your mother, but you are childless.
I never had time. Guess it was for the best.
If you had had a child, Elizabeth, what would you have wished for him or her?
I guess I would have wanted her to be curious. And willful, unstoppable, even. But with enough compassion to heal the world. Just a little bit. Anyway, that's all I've got for now, Gaia. Time to tuck in.
I wish you a pleasant sleep, Elizabeth.
Thank you. I'll catch you tomorrow.
So there we have it. That is Horizon
amazing.
Zero Dawn. So GG. And yeah, I guess we'll see the sequel in about 5 minutes or so. I don't know how long setup will be. So still got 2 more runs. So thank you all for having me. I will not take up any more of your time. And yeah, and please enjoy the rest of the event. And yeah, I hope to see a lot of you when we start playing Lego Adventure as well. So thank you everyone, and thank you Dorian for helping with commentary.
No worries. So next up will be another category extension run of Horizon Forbidden West. The newest one to date.